Hello guys, Luton here. So, welcome back, Happy New Year to you all, and I'm very excited today to talk to you about my New Year plans for Arma 3. These are going to be some significant changes that are coming in, but I believe that they are going to be beneficial for both players in the missions and viewers of the YouTube videos and the live streams. Now, I'm using a pretty recent small-scale tactical mission as a backdrop here. This was Operation Havoc, which is the kind of mission you're probably going to be seeing some more of. High-quality stuff, cinematic with skilled operators. Less of the crazy, massive, just public mission. However, there's still going to be a place for that stuff, and I'll explain about that. Now, I've talked many times for those of you who have been here with me for the long haul about my past adventures in WoW, or how I have led and operated multiple communities in the past, but now it's time for me to put this into practice again and let you guys see this from the ground up as I do what I've had to do many times over, and that is set up and run a new group of players. Before we get into the details though, as I said, let me just run you through the plans for my live streaming and so on. So Fridays are, as I've already discussed with a few people and a few times on streams and stuff, going to be more of a fun hangout night where we do some live mission building, maybe some PvP, and of course back to full public missions that any of you guys can get in on. So as I say, I'm still going to be doing those big public missions, but they're going to be part of something a little bit different. And the thing is, it's funny because some of the hangout nights that I've done, like on a weekend or something like this, people have really enjoyed them, and it made me think, you know what, maybe this is something which we need to do on a whole night. So the Friday nights, it's going to be much more of like a hangout, a chat, a discuss. People want to get involved, they want to talk to one another, they want to talk to me on the stream, come up with ideas, so we can just have a good fun time there. But Fridays can also be for doing other things as well, like PvP or these big public missions. So the Friday night is like the fun night where I don't worry too much about what am I recording and things, because I just found that I was getting really bogged down in kind of over worrying, like, is this going to be usable for a video? Where what it used to be is like, bash that mission out, and if there's anything good in there, we can cut a little bit out of it, So I think that's probably what we're going to go down the route of, and I think it's going to be a lot more fun, a lot more enjoyable, and I think everybody's just going to have, a good time. The core focus, though, is just going to be having a fun live stream. I'm going to be getting most of my Arm operations footage from the Monday session, which is going to be participated by this new group that I'm going to be setting up. It should be great for people to see the mission being planned out on a Friday and then built with people throwing suggestions on the live stream there, and then translated into a full mission on the Monday. So there's a great connection there between the two. Now, as you know, my Arm operations had been run through a community that I joint founded over 5 years ago, VG. But now I need to take things in a different direction and forge a specific community with different principles and expectations, and try to enact or combine all of that into VG. It would just have been too difficult. So it's better to have a clean start and know exactly where I am with it all. So this week I'm going to be beginning a new dedicated community for tactical teamplay. It's going to be known as BSO, or Black Screen Operations. The core focus, unsurprisingly, is going to be on simple, solid gameplay with capable people who can rely on one another. Finding the people who will fit well into such a group, however, is the difficult part. And if you think you've got what it takes, I say to you, get involved. Even if you're new to Arma or to joining such a community, grab the bull by the horns and show us what you are made of. But before we start with people asking, this sounds great, where do I sign up? There are a few critical elements that should be heard before you start filling in an application. Now, firstly, I am forming this new group because I want to get back to the style of community and gameplay that I enjoyed playing World of Warcraft, in a technical sense at least, because that was quite honestly the best gaming time that I ever had. It was with the most dedicated community and the best players. A group of players who understand that committing reliable time and efforts to one another is important in order to reap the rewards of that invested time. A group who are self-motivated and use their own initiative to better themselves, their skills, and help those who they play alongside without being pushed to do so by staff. This also does not mean that I will be entirely ceasing public operations, but there will be more often entirely closed operations which are not open to the public. The reasons for this are multiple, and it's not simply to do with the obvious things you might imagine, like people not following commands or team killing. In fact, most of the time that happens very minimally. The issue has come from a regular failure to see reasonable progression from people participating, and me not having the strength of tools required to properly manage that situation. Creating a whole new group where we could focus on a specific level of expectation from the beginning seemed the most constructive way to do this, and it's not simply about in-game skill. It can be anything from poor radio discipline to causing friction or disruption with other members, both of which have been repeated issues for me in the past 12 months, along with many other small, specific issues which are numerous and not especially relevant to list. Now, we have a small team of initial operators who are fully capable, and they're going to be the foundation group, but I'm basically starting this completely fresh. I haven't really even spoken to that many people about it, and it's where I wanted to be with this. I didn't want to set up half a thing and then try and fill it with a few other people. I want to start this completely bare from the ground up and really get and work with the guys. I want to, if you apply and we approve you and you get brought in, we're going to sit down, we're going to have a talk about where we are with things, and we're going to really figure out okay, how is this community working together? Because that's really important. It's about getting that stuff established right from the start. The ranking system will be straightforward. We're only going to use a TeamSpeak to operate from as a group because I deem a forum to be largely unnecessary for a community of this size. If the community grows and is maintained, that could be looked at later down the line. Operational guides and gameplay sessions will be posted at the top of our TS channel, as well as some tutorial sessions happening, some training sessions, but that's not really going to be the core focus. We really want people to kind of use their own initiative, get together with other members and say, hey guys, do you want to practice some piloting? Do you want to practice some, just patrol methods? Do you want to practice some formations? Do you want to practice some gunplay? We really want people to kind of work with one another to do that stuff. And again, like I say, identifying their own key areas where they are lacking and then working with other people to help improve those. That's the kind of thing you should be doing all the time. That's the kind of thing that I do. If I feel like, hey, I didn't have a very good session today and it was because of X thing, then I take the time to go away and do that. And as I say, that links back to when I used to play WoW. You would look at how other people were doing, you say hey man, you were a bit low on your piloting today. You really need to kind of practice that a little bit, or your landing was a bit off, or when we had that confrontation earlier, the medic, he was not where he needed to be. Try and work those things out, talk to one another, identify the issues, and don't be too egotistical about it. Take criticism on board and work with one another. That's the key always to making these things work. But it's also about people being switched on, thinking, and being generally active, and that's the kind of group that we're trying to put together. So we have to be very selective about the people that are coming in order to make that work. And so our focus will be on building a close group of players to regularly participate in Arma 3, but who are also committed to just serious fun in all games that focus on tactical team play. And that's going to be stuff like Battlefield, Verdun, Squad, where we could branch out to and play other elements in there as well. So, it's not going to be just Arma. We're hoping to have people that are going to be a good core, tight-knit group that are going to get on and play these games, and everyone can have good experiences. Our core emphasis is carrying just, as we say, serious attitude, but still having fun while doing it. I think that's pretty standard for groups of this type. We're not seeking, though, to be like a milsim community, just a tight-knit community who know the value of discipline and shared responsibility. And meaning that you need to bring something to the table, not just ride in on the efforts of others. You actually have to bring something of your own to the group. Now, I've got a solid 15 years experience at this point, either participating in or running structured gaming guilds or clans at the base level of all of this. So what we simply seek are people who understand the importance of teamwork, who value each other's time and efforts, and who are grounded, mature, and show good common sense. On the flip side to this, the expectations we have for the group mean that we're not going to be tolerating those who disregard rules or who make little or no effort to actively improve themselves. I myself know that joining a group who have a high level of expectation of their members, especially if application places are limited, mean that when you join, from the very beginning, you need to put all you can into it and show that you're capable to those in the community. It's something that I've had to do repeatedly myself when joining new groups who play at a high tier of gameplay, and it's not unusual to have that expectation of people. So there are no half measures, no shortcuts, no easy rides. If you want to join us, you need to get your head straight and bring value in the form of your skills and your time to the group. This does not mean that we expect everyone applying to be pros, not at all. But what we want to see is people who make the effort to learn, to take on board information, and to critique, and who show improvement week on week, who have the aspiration or the positive attitude to work with others and back that up with actions, not just words. We don't want players who are just going to simply turn up, expect a free pass, and make the same mistakes or half-hearted, self-orientated decisions every game session. Now let's talk about the application process. Now the only way to maintain a quality community is through strict standards, not only from staff who uphold that, but the members that do so of one another as well. This is where maturity and an ability to handle criticism comes into play, knowing when you are lacking and admitting that to yourself and others. This is a trait which I find is worryingly rare actually in modern gamers, and probably only the kind of competitive guys would really be sort of looking to do this. Now, everyone is always too concerned with just looking the best, but guess what? Nobody is the best all the time, and we all make mistakes. It's how we handle those mistakes and what we do about them that counts. In short, if you screw up, don't try and hide it behind a million weak answers. Just own up and sort it out for next time. It's not a big deal, so just lead with your brain and not with your ego. When it comes to people choosing how to play, we choose to play in a spirit of sportsmanship and mutual respect. We want to be challenging ourselves with difficult operations or competitively balanced servers and gameplay sessions. And again, that means that sometimes you're maybe going to get a bit of a rough ride, but if you do actually manage to succeed in that mission, it's going to be all the more a moment to savour. It's our goal to form a group of players who aspire to participate in and support these principles. Now, if you wish to join BSO, you're going to need to fill out an application form. This contains basic information, but will also ask you about your gaming background and what you're going to be bringing to the group and want to achieve by playing with us. This group will not just be a sign up and play unit. Your application will be reviewed by staff comprising of me, Shadow Fox, and also Eslam. And if you're approved, you're going to be contacted for a short interview before becoming a recruit member. Now, also only 20 recruit spots will be open at any one time. This is to enable us to reasonably assess players joining and their commitment to the group. This recruit period has no closing date, but you'll be promoted to operator only when you've passed this assessment phase. If you're successful, you'll become a full member, and if not, then a simple dismissal. Now, our group have something called the core tenets. Now, these core tenets are the simple guidelines that we set out for new and existing members to work from, both when in-game, TeamSpeak, speaking with staff, each other, and public players. Just basically something which you should be representing yourself with all the time. Now, in my opinion, all of these things should just be completely expected as a base level, and I would actually hope for people to excel above these as members, because it's all very basic but highly necessary stuff. Now, if you don't agree with any of the following principles, then we're simply not the right group for you. It's important to have clarity and be sure you're on the same page with people right from the very start, so it's all laid out plainly with no room for error. Chain of command. Now, like any organised group, all members should be treated with fair respect and their opinions will be listened to, but senior staff are senior for a reason, and their opinions and decisions should be always respected and observed. So members should not argue or backtalk with senior staff once a decision has been made. We want to just get on with things, and if it's a big problem, we can discuss it later. Group standards. Members should fully understand that they are joining a serious community which maintains a high expectation of individual standards. New recruits should look to display an adept skill level in combat games, able to make fast, logical decisions and enact them, honesty and accountability, solid communication skills, willingness to follow and accept orders, reliability and able to multitask or think clearly in stressful situations, and have a solid understanding of tactical team play. Discipline. Members must display discipline and personal control in and out of gameplay sessions. This means an ability to follow commands to cover critical avenues, even if action is happening elsewhere, and not feel frustrated by that. To play support roles and understand their importance to the team effort, but also not to just fuck around at the start of missions, wasting everybody else's time. Not talk continual banter or generally speak in shared in-game radio channels without good reason. People don't want to hear what you're doing at the supermarket today. They're too busy trying to listen out for some key information. There is also, of course, going to always be a place for casual chatter, and that place is social channels after the games or operations. Once you're in a game session, you need to get your head straight and in the game. No drama, so zero tolerance on hostility and drama. Any member who repeatedly creates hostile situations, makes continual trivial complaints, or enables a disruptive environment can expect a swift dismissal. Group achievement. Members should favour group achievement over personal glory. Each person playing their role, from transport pilot to rifleman to commander, is as important as the person who scores that winning kill or objective completion. Communication skills. Members are expected to display reasonable common sense and good social standards. This means both in and out of games. It means not speaking over others. It means listening to people and following commands. It also means ensuring to diffuse confrontations instead of escalating them. Personal improvement. Members are expected to spend whatever reasonable time is necessary in practicing and learning new skills and improving their knowledge base, e.g. tactics, situational awareness, communication skills, gunplay, vehicle operation, Windows folder structure, and understanding installation and maintenance of mods and plugins. Sportsmanship. As we said before, we operate from a position of sportsmanship, and that means mutual respect, fair play, personal development and success through overcoming challenges. We're not looking for people who always choose the easy options or overpowered assets so they can one-man army a mission. Members should understand that on a Zeus mission, some narratives are required to conclude or begin missions and should respect and not exploit those mechanics. If a mission is succeeded or failed, that's down to command, not any actions carried out after that fact. Activity levels. Now, operators are expected to participate in at least 2 hosted gameplay sessions per week. All operators are expected to report in on absent members who have an unusual level of absence. This is going to be noted and tracked by senior staff so we can establish who has a reasonable leave requirement or who is simply AWOL. Now, briefly in conclusion, I know that some of this can seem a little bit overwhelming, but as I say, it's all part of making a structured group, and these things are critical. I've done it many times before, and these are the elements you need in order to create this kind of, based organization. If you want to create a more casual thing where you just jump in and play with friends, that's fine, but that's not what we're going for. We're going for a more organized element here, and you need to have all of that stuff in place. I know that many of you who follow me on the channel have wanted a regular way to participate in my Zeus missions, or beyond that, to find similarly minded people who bring solid gameplay skills and a disciplined attitude to the table. These are the plans that I set out for 2017 to enable both of these to happen. I also said that I really wanted to try and avoid playing in public servers going into 2017 because I now found them to be a completely unsalvageable disaster zone. Playing though with a good group of people who you know and all carry a similar standard of gameplay and communication makes this either bearable or preferably even unnecessary if we have our own servers. In previous guilds or clans I've been a part of, you would be in the enviable position to know that asking any members around you to participate immediately meant a good gameplay session was nearly assured, and this reliability and strength is what I want to return to, and that really only can be achieved by laying out a structure as I have done today. It's about ensuring that the people that you're playing with are all on the same page, as I said at the very beginning, and ensuring that they all have a similarly minded contribution to the whole group. If you wish to apply to join us and you like the idea of what we're trying to do here, you like the thought of this kind of structured element and you believe that you can bring some good stuff to the table, the form is down in the notes below. Just click on that down there, have a read, drop your answers in, and we will get back to you if you're successsul. I look forward to reading your applications. It's going to be likely that they will close at the end of this week. I would very much imagine that we're going to have 20 positions at that point in time for people to wish to trial with us. More positions are going to be opening up as members are dismissed or approved, and I'll keep you updated with all the progression of this project, and I wish you all a successful 2017, guys. If you want to stay up to date, as always, follow me on Twitter and feel free to follow me on Twitch if you want to come and check out the live streams that we're going to be doing this year. I can't wait to get started, and there's a hell of a lot more new plans in the works as well. The PvP stuff, we're going to be getting back in with that. There's going to be more collaborations between me and other YouTubers. We're perhaps getting back to Battlefield, getting back in with Squad. There's a lot of elements and things that I've got lined up that I'm very much looking forward to, but this group that I'm trying to put together is going to be the core foundation element of that. So if you want to get involved, you want to play with me, you want to play with other people, and you want to have a really good time with your gaming, get an application in, tell us why you deserve to come and play with us. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time.